Club for the first draw of the 2013 USA Curling Junior National Championship. We will be bringing to you sheet 3 today as our featured sheet, which features Team Dropkin from Broomstones here, and Team Kramer, which is out of Colorado. Here with me today is Rich Collier, going to be doing some color for me. And Dropkin going to be starting with the hammer here. We've got Spencer Culbertson, the lead from Team Kramer here, throwing his second rock, looking for a hit. And well executed. Takes out the red stone, sits one in the top 8. Dropkin calling for a hit, trying to get some roll to the outside. And the second stone from lead, Alex Fenson from the high performance team. And a very nice shot. Looks to be biting on the outside. Very close. Tough to tell from this angle, but looks like it is sticking around and biting on the outside 12. So we're going to say Dropkin lies 1. And now rocks for the second from Team Kramer, Alec Kaliki. Just take a moment to mention our sponsors here for this week's festivities. Our gold sponsors, Dunkin' Donuts of Lexington, who is providing the food and beverage and some great coffee here. They've been a longtime supporter of national events here at the Broomstones Curling Club. Also, Whole Foods of Wayland on Route 20 in Wayland is giving the participants lunches throughout the week. And our final gold sponsor for the event, Brooms Up Curling Supplies, who's been an event sponsor, and they're also a big sponsor of the United States Curling Association. Just want to take a moment to mention a few people who did post some commentary from our presentation of the opening ceremonies. Wanted to give a comment out to George Rice, who mentioned on the Facebook wall that he was sad that he couldn't make it up from Florida, but he did say thank you to all the people who were bringing us this event, all the volunteers from the the schedulers, the people doing the door, the number of people that it takes to put on an event of this size and caliber is more than you can imagine. And it does take an entire club to put something like this together. So I would echo George's comments and say thank you to everybody who is volunteering their time to make this event possible. So, second rock from Team Colorado, the Kramer rink. Second, Alec Kaliki looking for a draw towards the top of the house. It's going to be coming up a little bit short. About a mid-guard, mid-close guard. And Dropkin will be looking to bring a rock around in the top of the house and sit a second counter. Four games going on here in our 3 o'clock draw. Over on sheet 1, we've got Filippo from Alaska versus Hodek from North Dakota. On sheet 2, we've got Team Myers from Minnesota versus Team Peterson from Michigan. On sheet 4, we've got the Wisconsin team, Team Stubbe, versus Team Vukic from Washington. And again, our featured sheet, Team Dropkin versus Team Kramer. Kramer out of Colorado. So Dropkin was successful in making that draw to the top 12 and lies 2. And now we will see what the vice from Team Kramer, Nathan Perry, is able to do with the shot. Looks like they're not going after that rock. They've decided to draw around behind and see if they can count shot stone. Rock looks to be pretty heavy, though. Don't think that's going to stick around. And that should give Dropkin a chance to draw a third rock in here and sit 3. Yeah, and that's exactly what he's calling for. He's looking for a draw to the outside 12. Split the house wide open. Vice Thomas Howell. Well, that rock looks to be curling very hard and does not look like it has enough juice to get to the house. Well, it did overcurl. It did come up short. So still 2 red for Team Dropkin, and Team Kramer will look to draw behind.
Hopefully this time Perry can bury one in there.
Yeah, he's got a second shot at this. You don't often get a second chance against a team like Dropkin, but was a little heavy on his last draw. Let's see if he can ratchet it down a little bit and bury one in behind.
This one, unfortunately, is looking a little bit light.
It did overcurl, crashed on the guard, but they do have a nice centerline guard set up now, so if they can draw one in behind with the skips rocks, they might be able to force into a steal. Dropkin is looking like they're going to come in right behind that center guard if they can, and try to set a third counter. And rock on its way from Vice Thomas Howell. Sweepers taking a look, and they do get on it. Just a clean. Hanging out kind of wide, needs to curl in. And it looks to be just a hair on the heavy side. A little deeper than he wanted it. It's sitting just behind the tee, probably back 4. And that's actually an opening for the Colorado team to come down and freeze onto that rock. And could really hamper the chances for Team Dropkin trying to score multiple points here with a hammer. But freeze is one of the hardest shots in curling, so it's a lot of pressure in the first end trying to find draw weight to put a perfect freeze on that rock for Preston Kramer, the skip here from Team Colorado. It's a nice way to start your week with a very tough shot in the first end of the first game. While we're waiting for that shot, I should mention the house over on sheet 2, the Myers-Peterson game, is looking like a parking lot of rocks, basically. I see about 12 rocks in play, 3 of them guards, about 8 or 9 in the house.
From this angle, maybe it looks like Myers is sitting 2.
Okay, so I'm hearing Myers possibly sitting 2. Okay, the attempted freeze on its way here and is coming to rest on our featured sheet 3 here. A little bit of a bump and sits out in the open. Shouldn't be a problem for Dropkin to take that out. And if he can stick around, he would be sitting 4. Oh, very big opportunity early on to put a stranglehold on this game early.
Looks like from this angle, that outside fighter may not be a counter. Kind of tough to say. See a peak of white.
It is going to be tough to tell, especially from the distance and the angle that we're sitting at. I'm sure if it's as close as we think it is, they'll probably throw a biter bar on it if the rock comes into play. But currently, it looks like Colorado's sitting 1. But we would have to expect that that rock will be going away very quickly here with Dropkin's first skip rock on its way. It is hanging down that 4-foot line. Yeah, it did hang outside, and it looks like it rolled a little too far, and it's probably outside the rings. So we're still looking at Dropkin sitting in either 2 or 3, depending on where that rock outside the 12-foot lies. They've got a couple that are very close to being biters. We're not sure from this angle. So we're going to say red sitting 2 to 3 rocks right now.
The overhead view, it's pretty close to being only 2 rocks. Those biters don't look to be counters.
Okay, we're pretty sure about the one on the right side of the sheet being out, but depending on camera angles, we're not sure about that one on the left of the house. So final skip rock coming here for Team Colorado, Preston Kramer, and got to have nerves of steel for a shot like this in the first end of your first game. You need a really perfect freeze here to try to hold your opponent to 1, or maybe even be fortunate enough to steal here. And freeze is never an easy shot to make. Looks like it's hanging a little wide, and it's a little bit on the heavy side. And oof, sneaks by, doesn't get a piece at all, and that will leave Dropkin with an open draw basically for at least 3, possibly 4 or 5, depending on the rocks biting the outside 12 or not biting the outside 12, depending on what happens. So, hammer shot. See if you can add a little gravy to the top of this end. Dropkin releases his stone, and the sweeper's keeping it clean. They seem to like the weight. And it looks like it will come to rest in the rings. And we'll wait for them to post to find out exactly how many it is. I'm going to go ahead and say 3, but they may throw a biter bar on that one and find out if that 4th one's counting. They're looking at it pretty closely. Still looking at it. They surprised they haven't asked for an official to come by and throw a bar on that yet. You know, if you're not sure, you just ask for the official to come out. They'll let you know.
The officials are quite busy on sheet 2. There's some sort of question. There's an update to our sheet 1 action. Team Filippo from Alaska takes 3 in the first end with hammer.
While we're waiting for the officials to find out if our 4th rock is biting on our featured sheet here, we'll give you some updates on our other sheets. Sheet 4, Stubby took 1 with hammer in the first end, and they're up 1-0. Filippo on sheet 1 takes 3 with hammer and is up 3-0. Didn't exactly see what ended up happening on sheet 2. There was a ton of rocks in play, so once they post that, we'll get you an update there, as we're still waiting for the officials to find the biter bar and give us a result here on our featured sheet. Here it comes. So they posted on sheet 2. Myers takes 2 in the first end, and that was a steal of 2. And officials are out there with the biter bar, getting ready to give it a swing. And they do move it into the ring, so it was a counting biter, and that's a 4 for Team Dropkin in the first end. So 4-0 after 1, Team Dropkin. All right, while we're getting lead stones out of the way here, just take a moment to mention one of our viewers out in cyberspace here. We had some nice comments from Sonia Reed out of North Dakota, thanking everybody here for all their hard work and allowing her to watch these events from a couple of time zones away. We'd like to say, Sonia, you're welcome. This is our pleasure. We enjoy getting to watch this great curling action, and we're happy to bring it to you. So hopefully you and everybody else out around the country are able to enjoy this event as much as we are here live in person. We're looking forward to some great junior curling action. So after a couple of stones, Colorado's line 1 in the 8-foot. Dropkin looking to take that rock out, stick around, which they do successfully, and now lie 2. 1 in the back 12, 1 biting the 4-foot. Team Colorado, the lead. Spencer Culbertson with his second rock. Looks like they're calling to freeze down on the Dropkin rock in the 4-foot. Looks like it's coming in a little hot. Pretty close. But it does end up sneaking around the Dropkin rock and sits in the back 8-foot. And Skip Corey Dropkin calls for a run back on his own rock. Try to pop that one right on the nose. Come back and take the Colorado rock out of the back 8. This is the second Mark Fenner from Team Dropkin. Looks to be a little on the wide side, but it is coming over. Sweepers stay off it. Do get enough of it and spills both of their rocks. So end result, just Dropkin lies 1 in the back 12, keeping the house kind of clean. Team Colorado with their second, Alex Kalecki. Trying to draw one into the house here. Looks like it's going to come up just a bit short. But a tight corner guard is not a bad thing to have with hammer. And Skip Corey Dropkin knows that and is going to try to remove that rock. Not allow Colorado anything to hide behind here. Calling for appeal of the corner guard. It's going to be up to Fenner to try to execute this shot. Comes out with some nice weight. Sweeper's on it hard. They've got to be pretty close to this shot as Dropkin's had him on and off a couple times. And gets a nice roll into the house. Dropkin lies 2 out in the outside 12. 1 top house, 1 back house. Near miss on 2 is what I was reacting to. And just looking to draw in here for Team Colorado. This rock looks to be pretty good. Alright, very nice weight. It's T-line weight, but it is sitting out in the open. They weren't able to get the right line on that and get it behind cover. So, should be pretty open for Dropkin to take this out. Thomas Howell's first rock. Plenty of weight. Sweeper staying off that the entire way. They're worried about a jam in the back. And it just comes over enough to avoid the jam in the back. Dropkin gets the majority of that rock and now sits 3.
Colorado's got to find a lane and find a stone to get in here. No protection, at least behind that corner.
Excellent point. Looks like they're not going to hit here. They are looking to draw. Try to get behind that corner. And then worry about the count stone with a future shot. Actually, no, this is more of a down weight hit and roll. Although it looks to be hanging wide on him and it's going to miss altogether. They did manage to pick off the back rock in the 12 and spill, so Dropkin lies 2. And Howell will have his second rock coming. Dropkin looking to set up a steal here. Asking for a rock top 12 to cover up the one they've got on the 4-foot. Rock's a little wide. Dropkin telling the sweepers to get off it. They'd like to sweep it for weight. Have to wait for it to come over. Now they get on it hard. Trying to drag it across that center line and get it into the top 12. Looks to be a pretty good shot. Well, you see at least half the rock on the outside there. But still not an easy shot here. Got to come through a port. Probably only 2 rocks wide. See about half the rock, so you got to come down weight a little bit, otherwise you're going to spill out. Tough shot here for the vice, Nathan Perry, from Team Kramer in Colorado. But they waste no time. Rock's on its way. Weight looks good. Is it going to hold, or is it going to hit that front guard? Looks like it's going to crash on the one in the top 12. Well, they didn't get the shot they were trying for, but in all honesty, that's not a bad place to leave your rock. It does have some jam potential if Dropkin tries to go after it. And it doesn't look like he's going to. He's either going to guard in front of it, prevent a run back, or throw a center guard. Could even try to draw behind it and stop the run back that way. There's a couple options here. Let's see what he decides on. Definitely a draw here. Yes, it's either going to be a rock in the house or just in front and try to lock up a steal here of at least the one. Some people would argue, just take away the yellow stone, don't allow him to get anything set up, but you do run the risk of jamming back on your own and allowing the other team to set up a big end. So this is probably the smarter shot here. Guard your one. And it's a clean release. Rock hanging out there on the 4-foot line. Starting to come over now. Weight's coming off it. The sweepers have been tickling it the whole way. Now they sweep hard. Really nice shot here. It is out counting, sitting right on the center line. So Dropkin lies 3, but there's no protection here on the yellow rock. Well, they could go for a run back here. Doesn't look like they're going to. It looks like the called shot here.
See what kind of turn he puts on.
Yeah.
Definitely a run back.
Yeah, he may be giving him room for a run back here, which would be the shot I would call. If he can execute this shot nicely, it would leave him sitting 1, possibly behind an opponent's guard. Well, close biter. Yep, definitely playing the run back. It's a nice clean release, but it looks like it's going to hang on him. Don't think they're going to get the right angle to get this back. Ooh, wow, that just turned hard. Excellent shot. Really nice shot here. He executes the run back and does sit 1. Now Dropkin with his final stone will have to look to try to throw another run back of his own. Take that yellow counting stone off the 8-foot. And he's looking to raise back the stone he just threw with his first rock. As Howell comes out of the house to take a look at that angle, see where he wants it to contact, to execute the shot. And Dropkin settles into the hack, gets ready to deliver, and stone on its way. Rock looks pretty tight on the line, but it's got plenty of weight, so it's hanging out there a little bit. Ooh, sweeper's off it the whole way. Does get enough and manages to take the yellow out. Dropkin sits 2 stones, but the whole house wide open here for Kramer to draw in with his hammer stone, try to take his 1. Just needs to get half a rock into the 8-foot to count. And the only other option here would be to try to double and blank, but I think the draw for 1's probably the safer shot here. All right, and Preston Kramer with his rock on the way. And the sweepers get on it shortly after the hog line. May want to make sure that they can get full 8-foot here. Looks to have enough weight. I don't know if they want to be sweeping this anymore. I think they should get off this. Uh-oh, did they oversweep it? Nope, it's going to come to rest. Excellent shot from Kramer. And Team Colorado takes 1 in the second end. Moves on to the third, trailing 4-1 against the high-performance Team Dropkin after 2. Back with our action on our featured sheet. First stone, a little bit deep, sitting back 8. Dropkin chooses to ignore it. He's calling for a corner guard. Wants to set up a multiple point end here. And rock on its way from Alex Fence in the lead from Team Dropkin. Very nice weight. It's a good close corner guard. Updates on our other sheets right now. On sheet 1 in the second end, Team Hodak took a 1 and is trailing 3-1 after 2. On sheet 2, Team Peterson took a 2 and tied up that game, so it is 2-2 after 2. And on sheet 4, Team Vukic took a 3 with Hammer in the second end and it leads 3-1. Well, Culbertson's draw comes in deep again, so they are wanting for a center guard and not getting it. And this will leave Dropkin with what looks to be a double and roll to try to sit one. That is the call for Fenson to throw here and waste no time, rock on its way. Sweeper's trying to hold the line. It looks to be over curling a little bit on them. Wow, it's very sharply curling. They've gotten off the top rock and make contact with the stone in the back 8. So Colorado still sits 1. And we'll look to draw a second rock in here and sit in front of the Dropkin rock. Try to force a steal here. Alec Kalecki with his draw on the way. It's pretty far out there. I don't know if this is going to have enough to come back to center line. And the weight comes off it pretty quickly when it goes out that far. Well, sweepers do get it to a close guard. Dropkin wastes no time looking for a hit and roll on the Yellowstone. Looking for some control weight so he can try to get the roll he wants to get behind that center guard that was just thrown. Needs to worry about the jam on his rock if it hangs wide. So asking for a little less weight. Yep, sweepers get on it pretty quickly out of the hand. Trying to hold that line. Nope. They make contact nicely, remove the rock from play, and does not look like they're able to stick around on the outside 12. So Dropkin still lies that one stone in the back 8 foot. But now Kramer has a guard to work with, so looking to draw behind that cover. Given a lot of ice here. He's looking for about 6 feet of curl where he's putting that broom. We'll see if it does move that much. It's still hanging way out there, so I don't think that's coming back behind cover. The weight was really nice. It is going to come in top 8, top 4, somewhere in there, but it's going to sit wide open.
I think what we'll find here in the early games is that teams are still trying to figure out just how much curl will happen up to these lines.
Yeah, the one practice session plus the 9 minutes pregame is not a lot of time to get used to a new ice surface, new stones you're not familiar with. It's certainly going to be a learn-as-you-go process for a lot of these visiting teams. But with the exception of the Dropkin rink, I think that's going to be the same thing for everybody here. All right, well, they do get the hit, but spill, and Dropkin still lies 1 in the back 8. Okay, Kramer calling for a tight guard on the center line. Looking for something to either bump back with a later shot or possibly draw behind. Knowing that he's trailing by 3 without hammer, trying to set that steal up. And it's Nathan Perry, the vice, with his first rock. Rock coming in nicely. It's just around the center guard, but looks to be a little heavy. Dropkin gets some strokes on that rock and brings it back to the back 12. Dropkin still lies 1. And looking like he's going to try to peel that center guard. Vice Thomas Howell, plenty of weight on that rock. It is certainly peel weight. Ooh. Ends up missing the peel on the yellow stone, takes his own rock off, and doesn't look like there's any rocks left in the house. Possibly a yellow biter in a back 12. I'm being told no. So Kramer calling for a close guard again. This is the second rock from Vice Nathan Perry. Let's see if he can dial it back a little bit, keep this one up top. Pushed off pretty hard, but looked like he pulled it back a touch. Let's hope it was enough to slow it down. As the sweepers are spectators on this rock, it looks to be traveling pretty fast. Coming down nicely, but does look like it's going to hit T-line and give Dropkin a shot at it. Yep. Comes to rest in the back 12. So Colorado lies a rock in the back 12. Dropkin will probably come after that rock, see if he can get a little bounce to the outside. Sit his 1. Just looking for a normal weight hit. Nice control weight coming here. Sweepers are on it, trying to hold that line. Just gets around the center guard. And does get the double. Both stones removed from play. Dropkin hits 1. We're on Skip's rocks now.
It's funny that Howell looked a little bit frustrated after they released that stone, so I wasn't quite sure if he released it in a way that he didn't want to, or if it followed a line that he wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it looks like he was shaking his hand a little bit. He could have done something funky with his release. Might have turned it in a little bit on him. But strong sweeper's able to hold that line. Got enough of the nose to double those rocks out and stick around. So Kramer looking for a close guard here. Looks like he's trying to set up the suicide steal, with both of his rocks being the counting rocks. Nice light release there. That should be a nice draw weight here. Starting to curl in. Look at that thing turn right at the end. And a very nice close guard. Just a little bump off his other guard. So just close guard. And that gives him something to bump back with his next shot.
You got to give Kramer some credit for that draw in the first end. Already down 4-zip. First game against a strong team.
In second end, yes. It was a very clutch shot against two Dropkin stones in the second end.
Second end, yes, sorry.
So, got to be tough getting your first draw of the weekend against the high performance team. Certainly a welcome to Broomstone's Curling Club. And Dropkin now looking to draw behind the center guards that were thrown up by Kramer and see if he can sit a second counter. Sweeper's dragging that rock and do get around the guards, and look at that, it's sitting a little open, but the majority of the rock is behind cover. And Dropkin sits two, and now Kramer looking at a couple of opponent rocks, a couple of center guards of his own, needs to figure out what he's going to do here. Looking at some options, looking at a run back. Look at a straight hit on the back 12. May just end up doing a straight draw. I think that might be the safer shot. Nope. Looks like they're deciding on a run back on the Dropkin rock that was just thrown. Decent amount of broom here, so I got to imagine it's not going to be full normal weight. Might throw something more like control. Try to make sure he gets the right angle on this stone. And final rock on the way for Kramer from Colorado. And looks to be hanging wide. And just clips a piece of the guard. Rolls it into the 12-foot, but doesn't look to be out counting either Dropkin rock. So Dropkin should have an open draw for 3 here, and would really give him a commanding 7-1 lead after 3 ends. Just needs to get a bite of the 8-foot here to count a third stone. And Dropkin releases his hammer stone, and it's completely in the hands of the sweepers now. They just need to get 8 foot in order to count their third stone here. Looks to be tracking pretty well. Sweepers seem pretty confident as they've been off and on. Very nice stone. Comes to rest. Ooh, back 12, back 8. But looks to be enough for the 3. And after 3 ends, Dropkin leads 7-1. Update on our other sheets. Over on sheet 1, Team Hodak got a steal of 1 in the third end and now trails 3-2. Over on sheet 4, Team Stubby takes a 1 with hammer and trails 3-2. And over on sheet 2, Team Myers takes a 2 with hammer in the third and leads 4-2 over Team Peterson. All games now either in or starting their fourth end.
So obviously Kramer needs to generate some offense here. Get a few more points on the board. Otherwise, he's going to fall behind. He's not going to be able to catch up.
Well, you know, at this point against a team like Dropkin, I think that you need to try to win some small battles here. I think you just try to set up a 2 in every end that you have hammer. You know, just try to execute your shots. You know, against a team of this quality, it's going to be tough to come back down 6, but, you know, you also want to make sure that you're performing well so you've got your next game. I mean, just one game is not going to end your week, so, you know, get some positive action going for them, get them ready for their next draw. Just like that, that's how you get it started, with an excellent tight corner guard. Dropkin going to try to set up a steal here. Is asking for something up in the top 12 here to cover up the one he threw in a back 4. Don't think the sweepers are going to have enough to get it exactly where Dropkin wants. It's probably going to come up mid guard. Makes it back to center line. Not exactly what he was looking for, but a useful rock nonetheless. Okay, Kramer looking at calling a raise. I'm a little curious as to why he's coming this direction, but we'll see what happens here. Choosing to come across the center line at his corner guard, try to raise it in. And they get enough to bump it into the 12-foot. So they lie second counter. And we are done with our lead rocks, so free guard zone no longer in play. And it wouldn't surprise me if Dropkin goes after that corner guard. Yeah, that's what he's looking like he's going to do. Try to peel off the corner, maybe get the double if possible. Just keep it nice and clean. Nicely done. Straight run back, doubles out both rocks. And now Dropkin has 2 guards out in front and counting stone in the back 4. Kramer looking to try to get some offense started here. Calling for some draw sort of to a freeze position in front of the red 4-foot rock. It's going to be an uphill battle for them for the rest of this game, because Dropkin should be free to take hits all day long from now on with this kind of a lead. And it's going to require really precision freezes to be made for Kramer here. That one comes up a little short, sitting top 12, excuse me, top 8. And Dropkin calling for a control weight hit. Does have to worry about the jam on the 4-foot rock. Starting to come over at the end. And nicely done. Gets a little roll to the outside. Sitting 8 foot. And Kramer again calls for the draw. Really trying to get something locked on here and make it hard for Dropkin to take his rock away.
With those 2 offset guards, past the center line. He still seems to want to freeze onto this stone back four.
Well, I mean, with the way the Dropkin rink's been hitting, you know, they really do need to freeze. That's a very nice shot. Very nice shot. Corner freeze. Drop.
That one's safe though.
Yeah, it's it's not going to stick around long. It looks like Dropkin will be able to take that out of there. They're going to lose their own rock out of the back, but they should be able to take it out. And they do just that. They get all those rocks out of there, and it's now Dropkin lying one rock in the front 8 and 2 guards out front. So Kramer has nothing to freeze onto now, and looks like they want a corner guard. We're already up to vice rocks, so he's running out of rocks in this end to try to set up a 2. Yeah, a little bit deep with his rock. Bumps Dropkin a little deeper towards T-line, sitting in the outside in the 8-foot. But there is jam potential there, so Dropkin cannot nose hit this yellow rock. Does need to get the inside edge of it.
I think Howell's almost exclusively thrown hits this game. I think I've seen him draw ones.
Yeah, that's quite possible. I mean, when you get a lead, you tend to throw a lot more hits. Try to keep it nice and clean and open, and not allow your opponent rocks to score with. You know, the old saying, a rock in the garage can't score points. So, Kramer asking for Perry to just give a little tap. Tiny tap on that red rock. See if he can freeze in front of it. Looks like it's all there, but the sweepers are still going on it a little bit. And bumps about a foot and a half, 2 feet. Dropkin still lies 1. Team Colorado lying second counter. And Dropkin and Howell discussing where to put the broom now for Dropkin's first rock. Well, it looks like he's going to try to come across the face of this rock, get a little roll to the inside, prevent the jam. Got to imagine they'll come down weight on this, some sort of control. You certainly don't want to hang one wide and jam off your own rock. Got some speed curling going on over on sheet 1. They're already into the 5th end. Team Flippo manages to take a 2 with their hammer and now leads 5-2 after 4 ends. As suspected, some downweight hit here going for Dropkin. Sweepers on it pretty much across the hog line, and they've been sweeping the entire way to hold that line. Very nicely done. And spins it onto the button. So now Dropkin lies 2. And Kramer, with 2 rocks left to play, needs to figure out what he's going to do here. Can he try to somehow manage a skip's deuce? Really needs to put an excellent freeze here on this rock.
A little bump here, about 6 inches would be perfect.
Yeah, as a freeze wouldn't leave him counting, so you do need to bump that rock a little bit. But the unfortunate thing is, you give any space in between those two rocks, and the Dropkin rink will more than likely be able to double it out. So this might be a two-shot shot. You might have to freeze one on and then bump it with your next one. Sweepers are spectating on this shot. Looks to be a little hot, a little wide. And does go by. And Howell has enough to get it out of the rings. So now Dropkin, line 2 with a large lead and without hammer. Really going to put the pressure on here and draw a third rock into the rings. Looking for something top 8, top 4, near the center line. Really try to make it tough for Kramer to get a 1 here. So we're finishing up on sheets 2 and 4 in the fourth end, and we'll give you updates on those once they're posted, while we wait for Dropkin to throw his last rock in this end. Okay. Oh, we have a hog. We have a hog line violation by Corey Dropkin with his last stone. The sensor handles have come into play in the first draw. And for anybody who's curled here at Broomstones, we know that the Dropkins, they get pretty close to that line on a regular basis, so that doesn't surprise me at all. And it has nothing to do with the fact that they beat me on multiple occasions. I believe a fair game should be a fair game. So, Team Kramer from Colorado with a slightly easier shot now that guard wasn't put up. Just needs a little bump on the rock that's sitting on the button to take his 1 and move on to the fifth end. Well, this one again hanging a little wide. They really need it to curl. Whoa, they are sweeping it. There, it starts to dig in. Here we go. Here we go. Is it going to get a piece? It does get a piece. Ooh. Came back a little at the end, but it's really close to being 2 for Dropkin. And it does look like a steal of 2 for Dropkin. A little hot and a little wide on that rock. And now a 9-1 lead for Team Dropkin after 4. That's a tough break for Colorado there. So we do have the score posted on sheet 4. We have a 4 in the fourth by Team Vukic, and they take a commanding 7-2 lead over Team Stubbe. So a couple of close games on 1 and 2, and a couple of not so close games on 3 and 4. All right, so we're underway on our fifth end now. Alex Fenson with the lead rock on its way. Dropkin asking for rock to come into the house, looking for something top 8, top 4. Want to try to lure his opponent into a hit game if he can. Over curls a little bit, comes up a touch short, but it is in the rings. Sitting top 12. As expected, Kramer chooses to ignore that rock. Wants to take advantage of the free guard zone, put up a corner so he can try to set up a 2-point end at least. You don't get many opportunities to set up a guard against a good hitting team, so you got to take advantage of that free guard zone when you can. does look like guard weight. It is curling pretty hard though. Sweepers do manage to get it over the hog line. Very low. Ooh, it's close, but it does look like oh no, they didn't get it over. So they hogged a stone. That's definitely not going to help their chances here scoring in this end. Well, Fenton being asked to draw in, bring a second stone into the house. All right, they posted the score on sheet 2. Team Peterson did take a 1 with the hammer in the in the fourth end, and trail 4-3 to Team Myers. Myers with hammer in the fifth. All right. Fenson's second rock for Team Dropkin comes up a little heavy. They are sitting back 4. And Kramer calling for Culbertson, the lead for his team, to come in and freeze on that rock that was just thrown. Rock traveling up the 4-foot line pretty well. The sweepers are trying to hold it out there so it doesn't crash in the guard. It's starting to turn over pretty quickly. And looks like it's going to come up a little light. It does. It's going to be a close guard right on the center line. And Dropkin still lies too. Hit on its way here for Team Dropkin. And overcurled a little bit. Ended up picking his own rock out as well, but does remove the guard. And now is actually sitting pretty much a perfect center guard with one in the back 4 on the center line. So that's a nice setup for a steal here, assuming that Team Colorado can't freeze one down. So far, we haven't seen any problems with the execution from Team Dropkin here, the high-performance curlers. You pretty much got what we've expected from them so far. And surprising here, Team Colorado decides to peel off the center guard from Team Dropkin. Update on sheet 1, we're in the 5th end break. Team Hodak took a 3 in the 5th and ties the game up at 5 apiece after 5. So that's an exciting game we've got going on there. Very nicely done for Mark Fenner. Puts a rock right back on the center line in the top 12. And Kramer asking for his second, Alec Kalecki, to try to take that stone out. Looks like it's hanging a little bit. Well, it doesn't take the center guard, but it does come around and clip the one in the back 4. It doesn't remove it from play, but does get it to the back 8 and off the center line. So Dropkin wants control of that center line to try to steal here, and he's looking to call for a bump. Tap it about 4 or 5 feet straight back. It's the first vice rock for Thomas Howell. Sweepers think it's a touch heavy. They're communicating with Dropkin right now about the weight, and it is not coming over enough, so it's going to split this rock instead of driving it straight back. And now they're sitting 3 rocks on the 8-foot. Okay, Nathan Perry being asked to draw down and freeze to the back 8 rock.
Perry's got a lot of stuff to freeze to. He's going to freeze to something here.
Well, doesn't look like it's going to come into a freeze, but it is top house. There's 3 red rocks behind it, so you know, if they overcurl or if they hang wide at all, there's stuff to jam on. And at this point, you got to hope for a little help from your opponents here if you want to get back in this game. Howell with his second rock, just looking for a straight nose hit. Drive this one straight back through the hole. Well, looks to be a pretty good shot here. And does execute the shot. Dropkin lies 4 now, and we're on final vice rock for Nathan Perry here from Team Colorado, the Kramer rink. And it looks like they're trying for a hit and roll possibly here.
Hit and roll towards the center.
All right, well, you know, Dropkin has shown that they can run back rocks pretty effectively, but without any guards of your own, you don't have much of a choice. You might as well use your opponents. And Perry with a rock on its way, and the sweepers are now on it. Come off quickly. It does seem to be hanging a little bit. Need to get a little inside roll here. And they do. And a very nice shot. Yeah. Alright, well, hey, some small battles. You gotta win some small victories here. I hope your opponent makes a miss. And as expected, Dropkin asking for a run back. Tells Howell where to put the broom. Okay, Dropkin settles into the hack, and he's getting ready to throw his first rock here without hammer in the 5th. Currently, Colorado sits 1 on the top 4, and Dropkin looking to run back one of his rocks, take them off, count. Okay, rock on its way. Managed to release it before the hog line this time around. And wow, that rock's hanging out and just clips a piece. Not enough to remove the Yellowstone from play. It's still sitting in the 4-foot. Not really sure which one of those 2 rocks is counting from this angle. But
It's definitely 1 yellow.
It is 1 yellow, I'm being told. So now, what to do here? Calling for a draw. See if they can sit a second counter here and pick away at this lead that Dropkin's formed here. Well, we'll see what happens with this rock. Let's hope that they can get something buried here, because we'd hate to see them leave one hanging out and leave Dropkin with a double. Uh-oh, Kramer putting his hand over his head saying he thinks he's hot. Sweepers are watching it the majority of the way. I don't agree with him. It looks like it's coming up short. And it does. It curls hard. Comes back to center line. And close guard. So the door remains open for Dropkin to take out the count stone. And that looks to be the call. Just a straight hit. Just entering the fifth end break here on sheet 4. We're waiting for a score to be posted in the fifth end. We'll update you on that once it gets posted. They are back underway in the sixth on sheet 1. And it looks to be on Skips Rocks on sheet 2 as well. So Dropkin's final rock on its way in the fifth here. Straight hits the call. That rock looked to take an early turn, and the sweepers got on it very quickly. And they just get by the guard. Just skip by the guard and do take the Colorado stone out. Dropkin now lies 4 stones in the house. And Kramer's got to be having flashbacks to the second end here, where he needs to make a very tough shot, a straight draw, cold draw against 3 or 4 opponent rocks. Not an easy shot for anybody, as they need full 4-foot to count. All right, Kramer with his rock on the way. Let's see if they can get their point here and move on to the fifth end break. Rock seems to be hanging out pretty wide. Does look like it has enough weight. The question is, will it curl back towards the 4-foot? Here it comes. Weight looks to be pretty darn close. What an excellent shot. That's a great cold draw, just like his one in the second. Makes a very nice shot to save his team. Take the 1 into the fifth end break, trailing the Dropkin rink 9-2 after 5 ends.
Great confidence builder there, though.
Yeah, you gotta love that as a skip when you're able to put one right T-line weight when you're looking at 4 opponents' stones, and you really gotta take a deep breath and execute your shot. And kudos to him for making that shot. Maybe they take the break, shake off some of the rust, and come back out there and try to set up a steal in the 6th. So they have posted the score on sheet 4 from the fifth end. We had a steal of 3 from Team Vukic, and now they take a commanding 10-2 lead into the fifth end break. Still wrapping up our fifth end here on sheet 2. Just take this moment during the fifth end break here to thank our sponsors once again. Dunkin' Donuts of Lexington, providing food, beverage, and great coffee. They've been a great supporter of this event, plus past national events we've had here at Broomstones. Dunkin' Donuts of Lexington. Also like to thank Brooms Up Curling Supplies. They are not only an event sponsor here, but the sponsor of the United States Curling Association in general. Brooms Up Curling Supplies for all of your curling needs. And our final gold sponsor for this event this week, Whole Foods of Wayland on Route 20 in Wayland, providing food for the participants throughout the week. We really thank them for their product donations as well as their monetary donations to help us get this event running. So we're going to take a quick break here in our fifth end break, and we'll be back to live action very shortly. Kramer versus Dropkin.
We were just discussing at the break whether or not this was Colorado's first national appearance. Certainly, maybe it's the first for this team, but perhaps first for the state.
Yeah, we were discussing. We're not exactly sure how the regions out in the West work, but I think Colorado may be part of a larger region with other states, and this may be the first time a team from Colorado has represented their region at the national level.
So if any of you out there know the answer to that, just post it to the chat, and we'll try to update everybody on it.
Well, a nice center guard. Starting out sixth end, and you know, they got a lot of work to do to get back in this game. But center guard to start, certainly a good way to get going and try to get a steal here. All right, Dropkin calling for the tick shot, and it looks to be wide, so just going to draw in instead. Yep, bring it nice and deep in the house. All right, sitting back 12, biting the 8-foot. And Kramer looking to draw in behind his center guard here. Well, they posted the score on sheet 2. The fifth end was a large end for Team Myers. They took a 4 in that end and now have a nice commanding lead, 8-3 after 5 ends, over Team Peterson from Michigan, who I must make a comment. Team Peterson has got to be the best dressed team out on that ice right now, sporting the nice button-down shirts with ties. It's a well-groomed team out there. So on our featured sheet, the draw from Culbertson comes up a little heavy and is sitting back 12, back 8, wide out in the open. And Fenson will just try to take that rock out.
Oh. We just noticed that the lead on Dropkin's team has been replaced by Connor Hogue. So Fence is taking a break, looks like.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good time to get your fifth into some action early in the event when you've got a good commanding lead. Bring Hogan, make sure that he's ready for future games should he be needed. And he did execute his shot nicely. Peeled himself out, but Dropkin does lie 1 back 12 right now. And the second from Colorado, Kalecki, is trying to draw one in, and a very nice weight on that shot. Sitting mostly covered in the 4-foot, just in front of the tee line. You know, not an easy shot for the Dropkin rank to take it out. They have to worry about the jam on theirs in the back 12. Got to worry about that center guard. Yeah, he changes the shot call up. He decides rather than try to pick the one off the 4-foot, let's just get rid of that center guard. Make it harder for Colorado to set up a steal here. No guards in play. It'll be tough. Nicely done. Peels off the center guard. Removes his own shooter from play. Colorado still sits 1 in the 4-foot, but nothing up front to cover it. And they'll look to put that rock back. Weight looks pretty good on the shot. Sweepers are sweeping the entire way. It's sort of hanging outside the 4-foot line, so I don't think it's going to come back and cover the one on the 4-foot. Yeah, it is going to sit out in the open, so Dropkin should have no problems getting to that rock. Yep, and is calling for the hit and roll on the count rock. The second for Team Dropkin, Mark Fenner, settles into the hack and is delivering about a normal weight hit. Okay, and it's executed nicely. Rolls over to the other side of the sheet and bites the 4-foot right on T-line. Dropkin sits 2. And Kramer is deciding for a hit and roll. It's going to come up the middle with this rock. And that rock over curled and does not remove the Dropkin rock from play. So Dropkin does still lie 2 rocks in the back 12 and is calling for a peel of the corner guard here. A lot of weight, definite peel weight here, and it's a made shot. Okay, no guards left in front of the house right now. Just the 2 Dropkin rocks in the back 12. And Kramer calling for a draw in towards the button. Somewhere in front of the ones in the back 12. Make it tougher for Dropkin to take him out.
Well, the way this team's hitting, he'd be a little bit safer to freeze on one of the back ones, but he's opted for the draw to the button.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, with a team that can hit the way the Dropkin rink can, it's going to be a tough slog. And anything with separation is removable. Well, this rock is a little hot. It's curling a little too much. Ends up in the back 8, just over center line. Shouldn't be a problem for Dropkin to remove. And that is the call. He's looking for the intern hit. Coming right up the center line with that. Sweeper's on it out of his hand. Trying to hold that line. And very nicely done. Just a touch of a roll back across center. And it's sitting about half a rock in the back 4. Very nice acrobatic jump on sheet 2 to avoid a rock. And the skip now from Team Colorado, Preston Kramer. Ah, good. He changes his call. I thought he was going to call a hit, but he decides to change, and he's calling for the freeze. Trying to steal here. That is the right call. You really need to wire a rock here onto the counting rock in the back 4. Oh, he changes his mind again. Now he's going back to the hit. Can't say I agree with the shot call, but you know, we'll see what happens here. As long as his rock remains in front of something behind, there's always a chance for a jam. Oh, plenty of weight. And just hanging outside that center line. Really not coming over for him. Misses it altogether. Unfortunately, just slides by wide. and really gives Dropkin a chance to put the hammer down on this game. He's got his first rock, and he's calling for something on the center line. Top 12, top 8. Update over on sheet 1, they posted in the 6th end. Flippo did get a 1 in the 6th and leads 6-5 in the 7th end. Still waiting for the teams from sheet 4 to get back from their 5-minute break. And Dropkin now with his first rock on its way. Straight draw, looking for something in the top of the house in the center line. It's out there. Sweepers need to wait for that to curl over. It's still hanging outside the 4-foot line, and looks to be a little on the heavy side too. Checking up. Oh, very nice. Grows some teeth, digs in right in the top 4 on the center line. So Dropkin lies 4, and now Kramer. Wish I could say for his perspective that this has been an uneventful game, but he has had nothing but red rocks to look at every time he's gotten a rock in his hand. I almost feel bad for the young lad, as every shot he's had to take so far in this game has been a very high-pressure shot. So now with his last rock trying to steal in the 6th here, he has no choice but to try to draw and lock on to the one in the back 4-foot. And if he can do that successfully, he will be the count stone and leave Dropkin with trying to figure out how to get him off there. But this is not going to be an easy shot for him. It really needs to be the right weight and the right line, and it looks to be wide. So wide and hot. This looks like it's through the house. It's curled hard at the end, but it isn't in the rings, but it's not counting at all. So it's Dropkin sitting 4 and has a free draw for his 5th. And I'd have to imagine that would pretty much put an end to this game. You know, at this point he'd be up 13-2. If he scores this 5th rock, he'd be up 14-2 with only up to 4 ends remaining to be played. That's a tough task, so we'll see what happens here. The hammer rock on its way from Dropkin. Just throws it out there to the sweepers. And they're bringing it the entire way. And Vice calls them off. Just want to make sure of it. Yep, they're in there, and they take their 5. Pretty much puts it on the pin. And then we're going to have some shakes. We are wrapping it up on our feature sheet. Team Dropkin with the victory by taking a 5 in the 6th end. Final score of that game, 14-2 over Team Kramer from Colorado. And we're going to try to get our camera switched over to sheet 2 and cover the action there between Team Myers and Team Peterson. Myers from Minnesota, Peterson from Michigan. They're currently in the 6th end. Take a quick break here, try to catch you back up on the action. Currently underway in the 6th on that in that game. They finished the game on sheet 4 as well, right? It looks like they posted the 6. Looks like they finished up. We also have a final on sheet 4. Team Vukic from Washington stole again in the 6th end. A steal of 3, and it looks like they've completed that game over there as well. Final on that score after 6, 13-2. So Vukic over Stubbe on sheet 4. So we did get an update from cyberspace regarding the Colorado team. As I thought, they are a member of the MOPAC region, which does have some of the Pacific states in it as well: California, Idaho, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, and Montana. Colorado has had representation in the national level before, but it has been quite some time since a team from that state has represented the MOPAC region. So congratulations to winning your region and representing your state here at the national level. Okay, we just finished up the sixth end here on sheet 2, and I did not see how that sheet finished up that end, but okay, I'm being told.
Made a nice clutch shot, hit, and rolled to the button to take their one.
Okay, so they did manage to hold on and get their one there, and they trail now 8-4 with 4 ends to play. So do have an uphill battle here. They don't have hammer moving into the 7th end, and they are down by 4, but you know, it's still a game here. Anything can happen. And just want to say thank you to Sean Stevenson for that information. He's in on the broadcast out from Denver and gave us all that information about the Colorado junior team. We appreciate that, and we will definitely would love to get some stories and some feedback. If you know any funny stories or personal things about the players or something you'd like mentioned during the broadcast, please feel free to type away, and we've got some staff here that will try to get that information over to us in the broadcast booth. 2 games still going underway in our first draw here in the 2013 Junior National Bonspiel. We have switched over to sheet 2 here, Myers versus Peterson, and we'll finish up the action here until they complete their game. We had the Dropkin rink on our feature sheet win handily over Team Kramer, and then over on sheet 4, Vukic beat Team Stubbe from Wisconsin, also in 6 ends over on sheet 4. So we're on lead rocks here on sheet 2, Myers versus Peterson. Myers with a lead and hammer.
Cameron Ross there throwing lead stones for Myers. I recognize Cameron. He played here at Broomstones through last year as a student. Does anybody know where Cameron is now?
I don't know where Cameron's currently curling, but Cameron, I believe, was a 5th on that last year's new national championship team with the Dropkins.
Yeah, he was indeed.
Yeah, so he's had some experience at the national level, and I'm sure that that's doing him well here now that he's playing with the Team Myers from Minnesota. If somebody out there in cyberspace knows where Cameron is currently playing out of, feel free to let us know. Ooh, a very nice draw here from Wesley Schwartz, the lead from Team Peterson. 2 excellent rocks out of your lead, and that is how you set up a steal. Nice center guard, nice draw in the straight behind the center guard to the 8-foot, and Myers calling for a hack weight hit here. Got to make sure it curls to get around the guard. Just try to pick that one off the 8-foot. Sweepers are on this hard, trying to make sure it stays around that center guard. Does not look like they're going to be able to hold it. Oh, it does get by. Look at that.
Nice shot.
What a nice shot. And sticks around. Yeah, that's an excellent shot. Not only did they execute the hit properly, but it sticks around in the rings, and it's sitting in the outside 12. You got to imagine it's going to be tough to bury rocks with the way the rocks have been swinging on this the ice surface here.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some stone reconditioned last week, and that really allowed the stones to curl quite a bit more than normal. Yeah, we were the guinea pigs last weekend during the Broomstones men's Bonspiel. They tested out some sharpened rocks on us, and it certainly made for some interesting curling, that's for sure. That's true. Yeah, they calmed down a bit from then. They were curling at least 8 or 9 feet easily,
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of that has to do with the release, too. I mean, you really can't have a lazy handle on any of these rocks or they will take off on you. You got to give it a nice, strong, positive handle. 2.5, 3 rotations minimum on the way down the ice. Otherwise, it's just going to dig and turn hard on you. So, a really nice hit there from Myers. Feeling pretty confident, just trading hits with a 4-point lead in Hammer in the 7th end here. Update over on sheet 1, they've just posted the 7th end. Team Hodek takes a big 3 and a 2-point lead after 7. They lead 8-6. We have a pronunciation update. Sorry, that's Pedersen, not Peterson. And it looks like Cameron is still curling here out of Broomstones, but he's originally from the Plainfield Curling Club.
I just haven't seen Cameron much.
Yeah, I haven't seen him much at all. He must be traveling out to Minnesota to practice, so we probably haven't been seeing him much around here.
Cameron's a good guy. He's curled against him a couple times. Nice kid.
Yeah, always got a smile on his face. I remember a couple of discussions I had with Keith Dropkin, the coach of last year's national championship team, and always was telling me how important Cameron was to the whole mental psyche of the entire team, that he kind of was the glue that kept that whole team together and kept them loose throughout that run towards the national championship team.
You certainly can't underestimate the importance of the role of the fifth. Right? You're not always out there on the ice, but you've got to be a member of the team. And, like you said, be a positive influence for the other players.
Yeah, it's sort of like being a backup goalie in hockey. Like, you know, you sit there and you watch all the time, but you never know when your number's going to get called. So you got to be ready to hop out there at any time if the coach decides it's your turn to come in. You know, plus during practices, they're out there helping out, getting times on the rocks, checking out lines, trying to help with pairings. So, yeah, absolutely having that extra player there certainly helps out any team. Okay, so pretty clean end so far. Looks like Myers is content with just trading hits right now and maintaining his 4-point lead here in the 7th. Got no rocks in play right now. Well, unless you want to count that one that's sort of biting the back line over in the corner. It's more of a trip hazard than it is a counting stone. And we got a rock on the way from the best dressed team here, the Pedersen rink.
Just going to mention that.
I've never seen. Well, I take that back. I have seen one person who does dress to the nines for a lot of his curling events, Mr. Jacobson. So.
Sometimes folk Hilton.
Yes, but we don't tend to see that at the high level competitions. The shirt and tie is certainly something I wasn't expecting. But hey, they look good and we like them. Thumbs up from this guy here. Something else that I also noticed, the Myers rink's got a couple of people using horsehair brooms. Especially in this day and age, you don't see a lot of those still kicking around. It's mostly the high performance heads and these EQ heads with the foil underneath them.
Yeah, very often you'll see at least one of the sweepers have a hog hair broom, mostly for frost control.
Yeah, we fortunately we don't have a whole lot of problem with that since we installed dehumidification here the middle of last season. We've been fortunate enough to have some pretty consistent ice, not much problems with frost here. And the ice right now is in pristine condition. We've got some ice techs here that were brought in specifically for the event, came in Wednesday night and did a full flood, and spent all day Thursday prepping and manicuring this ice for the competition so that it could be, you know, high quality ice for these competitors to curl on. And I was fortunate enough to get to play on that ice Thursday night.
I did not.
And cannot say enough about how consistent and fast the ice was. I mean, it's going to be a pleasure for these guys to play on, I'm sure. And, I mean, can't be blaming the Iceman for missed shots when it's this good ice. So, should be a nice level playing field for the competition. Okay, and another successful hit. Shooter rock will not stick around. It does go through the house. And house still empty with Team Myers. First skip rock coming. Empty house to draw into. Got the front end for Team Myers here. Trevor Host and Cameron Ross tossing their brooms to each other. Apparently they just swap brooms depending on which turn we're calling. Yep, they got the horsehair broom out farther on the rock. Take care of the frost. Cameron holding the synthetic broom closer to the rock, trying to make sure that it's got enough to get it into the rings here. They're sweeping it hard the entire way. The Vice, Kyle Kakala, comes out trying to help get a third broom on there, but does not have enough to get in, and it's going to come up short as a close guard.
Well, this looks like the break that Pedersen needs to get something in there.
Absolutely. Wes Pedersen has only one rock remaining, and now he's got something to hide behind. I mean, with as swingy as the ice has been, it's still probably going to be accessible, but you want to try to bury it as much as possible and make that shot tough for Myers to try to get it out and blank or take his one here. All right, so he's coming down here to collect his rock, cleaning the ice as he goes. Team out of Michigan here with their last rock in the 7th end, trailing by 4. Trying to get a steal here, so let's see what they can do. Okay, rock on its way. Well, sweepers think it needs. Okay, they come right off. I think it's got plenty, but they're on it now.
Well, it's curling hard.
It is. Does look like it's going to get around cover. It looks to be an excellent shot here. Wow, you really can't ask for a nicer shot than that. Pretty much perfectly behind that cover, sitting in the 4-foot. And now Myers has to decide what to do here. You know, he's got a couple options. He's got, well, the straight draw for one. He could try to come around and just pick it out with a nice hard weight and blank the end. Or he could try to throw more down weight to try to get a hit and stick for one. Looks like, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, with that tight a broom, I'd like to think that he's coming with pretty heavy weight and he's just going to pick it out. I think if he tries to come at that with anything control or down, he's going to end up hitting the guard here. So we'll see when he pushes off how much weight he's bringing. But
take a second look here.
Now it looks like they're trying to play the run back. They just changed the broom. Looks like they're calling for a run back here. Nice strong push. Looks to be at least normal weight. Not quite peel. Uh-oh, rock's hanging out a little bit. This does not look like it's going to make a shot. And a steal of one for Team Pedersen in the 7th. That brings them one closer. Now only trailing by 3 after 7 ends. 8-5. Myers retains hammer in the 8th.
I thought they called a run back.
I'm glad this game stayed close. I love mute buttons. Well, they're on Skip's rocks over on sheet 1, just to try to give you an update while we're getting our lead rocks over on sheet 2 taken care of. And the final rock for Team Hodak ends up coming up short and hogging. They're currently lie 1 right now, and they were trying to put up a center guard, but just couldn't get it over the hog line. So,
looks like this is the chance for Team Flippo to score 3 here.
Absolutely.
Exactly what they need.
3 might be tough. The way those rocks are angled, might be tough to get enough momentum to get them out and stick around. But even a 2 right now would be huge for them, get them back in this game. They certainly have access to that counting rock. I don't know if you can, I don't think you can see it on the cameras the way we have them set up now, but Hodak is sitting 1 on the top of the button, and Flippo has 1 cornered on it, so see what happens here. Alright, on our featured sheet we had a free guard that was removed from play, and it will be put back. So Team Pedersen trying to repeat what they did in the 7th here, starting out very nicely with a good center guard. Team Myers tried to pick shot and did not work. Excuse me, the tick shot.
Well, with 3 ends to play here, Pedersen's got to think about at least stealing a couple here.
Yeah, it's probably, unless you can steal a 2 or a 3, which is always a tough thing to do. This could be steal from here on in. I think you have to play it with that mindset. All right, a little bit heavy on that second rock there from Wesley Schwartz. It back 12, so Cameron Ross going to get a chance to come around center guard and try to take that out. Got a coach's timeout over on sheet 1 as they're trying to decide what to do with that hammer rock. This is a very crucial point in the game, so it's a wisely used timeout. And Cameron Ross executes the hit and spills out. So we just have that 1 yellow center guard sitting on sheet 2 here. As Pedersen trailing by 3, looking to steal here, is calling to draw around, try to put 1 in the top 4 somewhere near center line, and set up for the steal again. Seems to be hanging out there a little wide. It is curling hard at the end here, and not going to bury. Maybe an 1/8 of the rock, maybe tops is behind cover. Most of it's able to be seen by Myers. So normal weight hits the call here. All right, well, the action over on sheet 1 is just completed on our 8th end. They weren't able to stick around for the 3, but they did make their shot for deuce and tie the game up after 8 ends, 8-8. That was Team Flippo with the hammer taking a 2 and tying it up 8-8. So good action over on sheet 1, tie game there. And we are on sheet 2 right now, Myers and Pedersen. All right, Team Pedersen trying to get around the cover here. It does not look like it's going to get around. They might want to come off here and try a raise. Nope, they're going to end up splitting them up. So they managed to bump their center guard into the house, sitting over on the side in the 12-foot. But when you're looking to steal, I don't know if that's a rock that's really going to come into play. They really want to stay on that center line. So Myers now trying to decide what he wants to do. No, I don't mind that call. Just trying to hit the rock out in the 12-foot. Hit and stick. Sit your 2. Sweeper's just keeping it clean. It's hanging a little bit wide, and it's gonna hit the rock, take it out, but it's the shooter will spill. I don't think that's gonna bother Myers at all. 3-point lead, hammer in the 8th. And Pedersen calling for a hit on the counting stone in the top 4. Oh, it looks to be pinched a little bit. It's really tight on the line, and it's coming over quickly. He either turned that in or he pinched it. Wow, sweepers were able to hold that line to get the hit, but did overcurl too much and spills. So an empty house now for Myers. And as expected, he's just going to call the peel the corner guard. Doesn't want to leave anything there for Pedersen to try to set up a steal like they did in the 7th. Play it nice and clean here. First rock here for the vice for Team Myers. Kyle Kakala, excuse me. Oh, sweepers were on it briefly. Oh, it's going to end up nosing. Just a little of the outside of nose, but sticks around, so they didn't execute the peel the way they hoped to. Leaving their shooting stone out there as a guard in the corner. And Pedersen looking to draw behind that corner guard. Giving a lot of broom here. This is Aaron Carlson, the vice for Team Pedersen. And this is his second rock on its way here, trying to bury one behind the corner guard. Looking like it might come up a little short. Yeah. It's about a 2-3 guard. You know, not the worst spot in the world to leave it. It's better to be short than long here in this situation. And Myers calling for a peel of the 2 guards. So let's see if Kyle can redeem himself from his last shot. Try to take both of these out.
Still going to be some rock in play there.
Yeah, he looks to be pinching that one as well. A little narrow. Don't know if we'll get them both here. Well, he did. Leaves a shooter sticking around, but takes 2 out. Replaces it with 1 guard right on the sweep line. And we're up to Skip's rocks here. Wes Pedersen, just 1 red guard out in front, needs to figure out a way to try to get a steal here, as they trail by 3 here in the 8th.
Crucial draw here for Pedersen. Needs to bury it.
Yeah, rock looks to be hanging out a little bit. They unfortunately didn't get the line they were looking for. The weight's pretty good. It was top 12, but sitting wide out in the open should be no problem for Myers to take out. Okay, first skip rock coming here from Team Myers. Looks to be a straight hit. So he settles down into the hack. Nice clean delivery there. Sweeper's keeping it clean. And a hit. And a roll. And very nicely done. Rolls well out to the outside 12. Majority of the rock in the 12 foot, so red sits 1. And tough decision here. Trailing by 3 without hammer. 1 rock to play. You really can't go after the red stone here. Gotta bury 1. And hope for a miss from your opponent. So, very tough shot here to happen for Wes Pedersen. Out of Michigan. Okay. Wes Pedersen, the rock has left his hand, and the sweepers looks like they think it's hot. They are watching this the entire way, hesitant to put a broom near it. Yeah, it looks to be coming down nicely. Now they get on it, trying to bury that rock. It's still hanging out a little bit. Well, they got about half of it behind cover. You know, they should be able to get to this pretty easily, though. I can see most of it from here. Yep, and that's the call. Just a control weight hit. Try to hit and stick and take a 2. That would put them up by 5 with 2 ends to play and in commanding position. Hammer rock. Coming from Ethan Myers. And it's on its way now. Riding up that center line pretty well. It's starting to come over. Sweeper's on it, trying to make sure it stays around the guard, and they're off. Yeah, looks like a made shot. They take the Yellowstone out of play, stick around, and red takes 2. So Myers will take a 5-point lead into the 9th, as the score is now 10-5 through 8. So I want to take a moment here in between ends to thank the ice technicians who have traveled from other clubs to make sure these competitors have some of the best ice they could possibly curl on. Our lead ice technician, Dave Stavatag, out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. Rudy Bloomquist out of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. And Keith Turk out of Itasca, Michigan. Thank you, gentlemen, for all the hours that you've spent here already and that you will be spending here over the next week plus. I'm sure the competitors appreciate it greatly. Just a quick update over on sheet 1. We're on Skips Rocks, tied in the 9th. We'll let you know once that 9th end gets posted exactly what happened there. As we're getting lead rocks underway here in the 9th on sheet 2, Myers versus Pedersen. Action over on 1. Each team still has 1 rock to play. Currently, it looks like the Hodak rank sits 1 with hammer, and Flippo needs to figure out what they're doing over there because they have their last rock to play right now. Try to keep you updated on that. We've got a very nice corner guard being put up there by Wesley Swartz of Team Pedersen from Michigan.
Oh, that's wrong. Kyle Packle. It's driving our daughter nuts. How old is she? 30. She should know good.
Oh, 30. That's all right.
I was going to say it. Anything drives me nuts.
And she's so picky, that's why she's still single. I hope she heard that. Oh.
All right, so still underway here. Finishing up our lead rocks here on sheet 2. Myers versus Pedersen. They haven't posted the score for the 8th, but we do know it was a 2, so it is 10-5. Here in the 9th end. Oh, did we have a pick or something? That rock just took off out of his hand.
Oh, wow.
That certainly was not the called shot. I have to imagine that picked on something, because that turned hard right out of his hand.
Yeah.
He even wound up in a poor place as well.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Especially when you're down, it's a very unfortunate something like that to happen. You got to imagine there was some debris or something on the ice that caught on. And we're over on sheet 1. Skip rock on its way over there. And Hodak trying to figure out a way to score. Looking at least one opponent's stone.
This is Hodak's hammer.
Yeah, Hodak's hammer. Yeah, I think they're going to call a timeout and really take a look at this. Yeah, that makes sense. It's too tight a game to rush a decision on a shot like this. We can't see the clocks from up here, but it doesn't feel like they've been ahead of all the other sheets. We got to imagine they got plenty of time left in their clocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Myers, as expected, is putting rocks into the house. Going to force Pedersen to try to, chase him the entire end. All right, well, they spill. They do end up taking out the Myers rock, but they spill out. So it's just one Myers rock, one red rock in the house with a couple of center guards. Okay, well, we moved over to sheet 1 here because we've got an interesting 9th end forming, and we're on our hammer rock here. Currently, Team Hodak is in a timeout speaking to the coach, trying to figure out what they're going to do here. It's a tie game over there, and it looks to be like it's sitting 1 red, possibly 2. No, 1 red. Looks to be a straight draw as a shot call, just a draw for 1. I don't. Doesn't look like they see a way that they can get 2 out of this, so straight draw is a call. And you need at least full 4-foot here to get your point. Sweepers have been on this almost the entire way. And the vice skip did pop out of the house to give a hand. Looking pretty close.
Looking good.
Looking really good. Did it come up a little short? Can't tell from here. Looks like it did come up a little short. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? 1 point for red there. Hodak retains hammer coming home. that's not the worst thing in the world. You know, you give up the one, yes, you're down by one, but you keep Hammer going home. So still in the driver's seat for them. Yeah, we'll shoot back over to game two. We have Flippo up by one, going into the 10th without Hammer. So Hodek trying to come back in that game. All right, so we're back over to sheet two in our Myers versus Pedersen game. Currently, Red sits one in the back four, with Pedersen sitting one in the second counter over on the side of the 4-foot. And Myers asking for a run back here. And I'm going to try to pronounce it right. Kyle Kakala, excuse me. I've been told that I've been pronouncing it incorrectly the entire time, and there's an angry Minnesotan out there that texting her father saying, "Tell him to pronounce our name right." So we heard you loud and clear. We'll try to get that wrapped up.
Just do the easy front end, Ross and Post.
So now vice for Team Pedersen, Aaron Carlson being asked to draw in and try to sit a stone here. Nope. Oh. I'm sorry, that was supposed to be a hit and roll, and they went straight through the port. Well, the uphill battle for Team Pedersen is not getting any easier when you get unlucky and miss a shot like that. Now Myers going to throw another rock right in there and just really block the path to the button here. They're going to end up running them out of rocks here pretty soon if they can lock up a steal on this end. That looks to be a little light, and it looks to be over curling. So that's did that even get over? Nope, they hogged. I think they kind of let that hog. It really wasn't where they wanted line-wise, so I think they just sort of let that come up short. They could have swept that over if they wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well.
I think it's going to be the same called shot.
Yeah, Pedersen's got a second chance at the shot, absolutely. You know, the in-off double, looking like they're trying to call that. See if they can take it right off the one on the 8-foot. Angle it over towards the one in the back four. See if they can count that way. I gotta imagine that this is the shot here with that kind of broom. Plenty of weight. And the sweepers get on it trying to hold that line. And it's over curling again, and oof.
Twice in a row.
Same result. Unfortunately, they could not hold the line there with the sweep, and right through the port again. That's an unfortunate miss again for Team Pedersen, and they're running out of rocks to do something here. Myers with hammer here in the 9th. Oh, excuse me, without hammer here in the 9th. Looking to draw another one in and really block off that path to the button. First skip stone here for the Myers rink. draw is the call. Looks to be a little hot. Sweepers are watching it. Now they get on it. It is a little hot. They were trying to hold it out there and get a little piece of their own in the 8-foot and wick it in. But much like the result from the Pedersen last 2 rocks, straight through the port, through the house, and an inconsequential rock. So Pedersen, 3rd time's a charm here on this shot, maybe?
You can't afford to miss this one, that's for sure.
That is for sure. They need to try to get the 2 here. They have hammer, 2 rocks to play. They need to figure out a way to try to get 2 points here, because I can't imagine a steal of 4 is going to be easy. So they need to try to get the 2 here. Well, this looks like it's going to be a made shot. They at least got a piece of the rock. Oh. Wow. Just when it rains, it pours. Unfortunately, they made contact with the rock they looked to, but the angle wasn't quite right. And
just over the top.
Yeah, just over the top of one and underneath the other. Unfortunate turn of events there for Pedersen. And wow. You just got to shake it off and move on. And Ethan Myers now will have a draw to try to throw a 3rd counter in there.
I don't know why we're throwing that turn anyway.
All right, last rock on the way for Team Myers. Ethan trying to draw one in here to the top 4. Sweepers wait until after it crosses the far hog line, then sweep it hard to try to drag it in. Line looks really good. All right, comes up most of the rock into the 8-foot, and it's going to be very tough there for Team Pedersen to try to get a rock in.
Yeah, there's no access to the button at this point, really.
Yeah, it's pretty much a cold draw around the one that was just thrown to the side of the 4-foot. And you need at least full 4 to count here. You know, might even need to get a bite of that button in order to count, and really is no shot except the straight cold draw. And that looks to be what they're discussing and just trying to figure out where to put the broom at this point. So, looking at a pretty insurmountable situation here. 3 opponent stones all around the button. Down by 5 in the 9th end. Let's see what happens here. Just a note for all you folks out there watching our stream, don't forget to tune back in tonight for our 7 o'clock draw, which will feature the beginning of the ladies' side of the draw. And we will have on our featured sheet, Sheet 2, Team Christensen versus Team Sweet. That's a 7 o'clock start this evening. The Christensen rank out of Minnesota and Team Sweet out of Washington State. So feel free to tune back in tonight for the 7 o'clock draw. Christensen versus Sweet, and the beginning of the ladies' portion of the juniors. Well, unfortunately, this should be the end of the game here as Peterson's draw comes up short. It's a steal of 3 for Myers. And an 8-point lead. Yep, there's the handshakes. And as we expected, we'll try to get you over here to sheet 1 so we can find out what's going on here with our 10th end in a tight 1-point game between Team Filippo And Team Hodek, Filippo out of Alaska and Hodek out of North Dakota.
25 years later, you
Currently, Filippo without hammer lies 1 in the 4-foot, 1 in the top 12, sort of off to the side. And first skip rock on its way from Team Filippo, trying to bring a second stone in, a third stone into the house. The vice skip for Team Alaska there is waving the sweepers off. And T-line weight, but sitting wide open. So Team Hodek now needs 1 to tie, 2 to win. They have no stones in play right now in the house. Looking at 3 opponent stones. Need to figure out what they're going to do here. Both teams have already used their timeout over on that sheet, so no more available for them. Do not know how much time is left on their clock, but as I was saying earlier, they've been ahead of the other sheets the entire way, so I have to imagine they're doing fine on time. Well, they're looking at the run back of a mid-guard here. I think that would be the tougher shot. Wouldn't you think a downweight hit would probably be the better call here?
Well, they do have a lot of room to run that stone back onto. They have those 2 red stones there on the tee line.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good 10-foot run back there, at least 10 to 12 feet. Where maybe a hack weight or board weight sort of hit, you get across the face of the one in the top 4 there and roll underneath the cover behind guards. I think they're taking a higher degree of difficulty shot here, and I mean, if you make it, great, but you know, you miss it at all, and you're just opening up the center here. You're going to take away.
We haven't really seen the curl too much on this sheet yet because we haven't been paying attention. But
sweepers are on it hard, so we'll see what happens here. It's already starting to come across the center line, and it is starting to over curl. But some good things could happen here. You get a little action. Yep, bouncing it. Well, you know, it comes to rest top 12, so they're sitting the 3rd counting stone. But they just took away center guard, so there's really nothing for them to hide behind on the center line. Now Filippo is trying to decide what to do with his last rock. Excuse me, Filippo. So, trying to figure out a way to guard their counting stone to take a steal and win this game. Currently up 1 without hammer in the 10th, last rock to play. So Ryan and Quinn right now in the house, the vice and the skip, trying to decide where they want that rock to be placed in order to best give them a chance for the steal here.
I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't know his phone is.
I can't figure out what he's doing.
All right, now we got our camera action over on a 1 for our final 2 rocks of the 10th end here. Okay, I mean, unfortunately, this is on one of our outside sheets. We don't have as many cameras set up for these outside 2 sheets. We'll do the best we can for coverage on these sheets in the event that 2 and 3 end up finishing early as they did in this draw. Some sort of a guard is the call here. Currently, Filippo sits 2 in the house, near the 4-foot. Clean release, and sweepers are on it. Looks like they're dragging it into the house. It is over curling. It's all the way over to center line. Yeah, it's going to be. Nope, they did let it come up a little short. So now, red is sitting 2 in the 4-foot, 2 out in the 12-foot is 4th and 5th counters, and yellow sits 3rd counter.
Nice port there, though.
Yeah, I mean, there is a port to get through. You know, depending on where they hit it, though, there could be some spill going on. You know, if they hit this off nose a little bit, you know, you might get a little roll, and if it doesn't stick around, that would allow red to steal and take this game.
Well, here's the rub here. If yellow can hit the 2 reds right in the crotch, they might be able to split those out, take 2, and win the game.
Yeah. That is, you know, if you can make that shot for the win, that's a great shot. But if you're off by a 1/4 inch either way, if you hit one of those rocks slightly off center, you might end up getting the action and rolling it out and only taking your 1. You know, here's the other thing. If that rock hangs and it hits nose, does that outcount the 2nd rock that's in the house?
It does not.
It's very close. It really depends on what kind of action you get after you hit that rock. The port's not that big. We've seen some heavy curl on some of these rocks, so...
Well, they're going with it.
Yeah, I mean...
They're going for it.
Hey, no guts, no glory. I mean, it's the shot for the win. You know, it's the right call. It's just going to be, can you execute the shot with the pressure on in the 10th end? In the first draw of the weekend. I mean, it's... Weight looks down and sweepers are on it hard. They are trying to hold that line. They are banging every inch of this rock. And it looks like it's through the port. That's what I was afraid of. They weren't able to get it right into the crotch. It ends up bouncing off the top rock and not able to take count. It's a steal of 1 for Team Filippo. And they will end up winning the game 10-8. And that concludes our action from draw number 1 here at the 2013 U.S. Junior Nationals. For Rich Collier, I'm Mike O'Neill. Thank you very much for being with us. Don't forget, please stay tuned for tonight's draw at 7 o'clock. Team Christensen versus Team Sweet in the ladies' side of our draw. From Broomstones Curling Club, 2013 Junior Nationals, Michael O'Neill, we are signing off.